frustrating. Uh, um, I'm gonna have to start all my videos with saying thanking God, thank you God, um, because of making me able to see things for what they are and how desperate they are to paint a narrative. It's been a very pathetic, the ability of like, I just to see people really trying to sell this falsify reality and the desperate levels that they're utilizing to get you to accept these things is so pathetic. You know, I keep bringing up what I did as a child in middle school. And like I said, that was a moment that this act was the only time that ever happened. And so, for these people who do this pedophilia type of torture, are desperate to create a pattern. So, what it means by being desperate to create a pattern, to create a desperate, what I mean is, they are so desperate to create a pattern that they're now trying to create things that are what they wish it was, to the point of creating something similar to what I did as a child. And so what they're doing is they're changing what actually happened and giving me stimulation sensation. Right now, they're not even trying to change the stimulation, they actually try to change what happened. I tell the story, I remember I was about 13 years old. This is the life they're in. This is what life is to them at this point, to try to make themselves believe they don't do the pedophilia type of torture. I'm 13 years old. This 2-3-year-old baby comes. And I used to live at this family. And I remember I was on the computer, and she, and she comes, and as she comes, I'm on the computer, and I'm a 13-year-old excited about playing computer games. And she comes, she tried to be annoying, but she was super adorable. She comes and she wants to take over, and it's like, I want to do this. And I'm looking at her, she's super adorable. So I grab her and I kiss her cheek, and she's like, oh. I kiss her on the cheek. Now, this is nothing inappropriate. That's matter of fact, I did that again before we went to church. Her father is behind me. I see her getting ready, and oh my God, she's so cute. And I kiss the cheek, and that's the act that they try to change into something else. They try to say, now you fondled her, you did the story they're trying to create in my head. Now, this act of creating this additional act is something that is not going to make me, it's too falsified. They're not going to change that. Well, they can do that, but it looks super obvious that it's being manipulated. So what they're doing is giving me the stimulation. Now, you know when you see something super cute and adorable, they are rewiring it to be sexual. They've done that early on, right? And I remember when they made me have the experience, it was very early on. I didn't know the level of capability this technology was able to do. I didn't know that they could actually change the memories, right? I'm not aware of that. So they brought up what I did as a kid in middle school, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is something I don't remember at all. But then they bring up this moment, which I remember, but they add the stimulation, and they make it feel like it's something I did experience. When I started realizing that they're falsifying my memories is when they did that to my friend's daughter. And at that point, I was an adult. I was like, no, okay, something is going on now. They actually manipulate the memories. Because when they start doing that toward his kids, and he, is a perp, he will call me every time they will do that to me, which added to this, like, anxieties. When I started seeing that happening there, I was like, okay, they are playing with memories. They have the ability to play with memories. Because now you're doing to me when I'm an adult, and at that point, I'm more aware of who like the memory of me, my adulthood is stronger, obviously, than me when I'm 13 years old. So when they did that there, and it's around the same time, I was like, they are playing with my memories. They are making me experience things I did not experience at the time, and try to make me accepting of the experience that I have today. I made videos about it. So every time I look at this, anybody named Sarah, for example, they make me think. Remember what happened to Sarah when I kissed her on the cheek. Matter of fact, at one point they made me imagine kissing her on the lips to create this excitement. You understand the level? Because when you kissed her, she was like, ooh. And so she said, no, but she did like that, so it did. As I'm saying that, as they try to box in, and that kind of, this is an indication of who's investigating. They're making a dog bark. I'm like, is that dog one of the top investigators too? So now is a mixture of trying to create an imagination of me fondling Sarah and giving me the stimulation. Now the fondling part is exaggerated. It's not even exaggerated. It's created. It's manipulated. Because what I did is like kissing on the cheek, like when you see. And I did that again when her father was behind me, and I remember her father said, "Oh, she's so cute, it's almost good to eat." And I go, and she does that again, yeah. And they try to create this different. You grab them, and kiss on the cheek. When in reality, it's like, oh, and she's like, oh. And they try to change it to create some more version, to create something sexual. It's like, no, you see, that's abuse. That's how desperate they are. That's how desperate they are to create these things. Because they want to create a pattern, and there's no pattern. So what we do, we create some. Oh, that kid that you kiss on cheek, no. And I was like, and now they try to be like, no, but you put your hand around, and like, it's crazy. But that's what they do. It is about creating false reality. And now, because they're going back, okay, the fondling part is a little bit too much of a creation. What we can do is go back to the stimulations and the sensations. Let me tell you, this is me when I'm 13 years old. And because the reason why they're doing that, like I said, what I actually did that was inappropriate, it was done once and never happened again. So what they do is create something, is to create patterns. And in my head, like, no, but if she stayed, it's like, no. And the stimulation they give me is sexual. Instead of like, oh, it's just... And they're like, no, but the nanny came. It's like, oh, I was happy the nanny came. Because I was trying to work. No, what not to work? I was trying to play my video game. My computer game. And so they try to use that. See, now there, you feel something. It's, like, it's not even about feeling something. Now they try to create me imagining fondling her. They're desperate to create things. They are desperate. Reality is no longer what the memories are manipulated, and they're waiting to create more. Let me repeat that. It's me kissing Sarah's cheeks, kissing her cheek. To them, try to create, I don't know what, like how, like fun, like to create to that level. But then, okay, this is a little too much. Now, let's get back to what initially was done to me, which is making me feel stimulation. And I remember when they start doing that to me, it's like, oh yeah, because they make you think that you experience that. And mind you, initially you don't know the capability of this technology. You don't know how precisely they can manipulate your thoughts. How precisely they can make you experience stimulations and sensations. Matter of fact, the only way I started realizing that was happening is when they did that to my friend's daughter. At that point, my friend and I were like young adults, 19 years old or so. When they started doing the same thing toward her, his little girl, I was like, wait, something here is different. I don't remember experiencing that at all. Then I realized, oh, they're fucking with me. They are playing with my memories. They are making me experience this thing in my childhood. They're like, no, yeah, you were not trash ass. I wasn't. And you are just rewiring my memory. But in fact, let me just say how bad it is. When her father was behind me, Sarah's father, the 2-3-year-old, when he was behind me, I literally did the same thing. It is nasty. And to try to create something where, like, something like fondling or something, it's so pathetic. They are living off a false reality. And every time they want me to accept this false memory, They wait for you, they'll torture you. It's like whatever horrible things I'm gonna go through, I can reassure you this is never gonna be accepted as I will me myself. I will never identify with this false memory. And I'm thankful that I had the chance to make it clear. If they ever confuse themselves, if they ever, and I remember initially they're like, oh, how many? Oh, man, I'm so thankful that I got to see things for what they are at least once before I died. I'm so thankful that I got a chance to vocalize this at one point in my life. Because this trash that wanted to act accordingly, that wanted to play this game, realized that I will never identify to this. They can make me feel all kind of anxiety, and they make me feel anxious. I was like, no, I will say. Let me just repeat that just one last time. When I was just 13 years old, I used to live with this family in some area around Chicago. And they had a 3-year-old, a 2 or 3-year-old, something like that. Her name was Sarah. And I remember when I was living with them, they had a computer. I was super excited to be on a computer. I used to be on it all the time. It's just I was not used to be on a computer. It was something rare for me. I came from a place where we didn't have access to computer at the time. So me, a 13-year-old, loved to play the games they had on the computer. She comes and she started annoying me. Like, not annoying me, but she comes and you can hear the nose campaign. Boom, they try to box into something. She comes and she's trying to annoy me. And I look at her, it's like, oh, you're so adorable. And I grab her, like her face is like this. And her response immediately is like, ugh. Now, there's two things they try to do here. They try to add the sensations. Or another thing is like when I try to kiss her, I grabbed her like that. When in reality, I just like grabbed her and kissed her on the cheek. And so they try to create a version of one, fondling her, and two, give me sensation stimulations. Now, it's annoying, it's frustrating, but the reason why I make sure I say that out loud is because I want to make sure that regardless of how I'm reacting to this false memory, this nervous, this fake nervous anxiety feeling, these stimulations they try to give me, this, you know, it's getting so bad that right now in my brain, they even try to make me think of when you kissed her on your cheek, did you grab, like, put your arm around her and brought it here? And they try to create something. Or did you, like, when in reality I saw it, just kissed her in the cheeks. But they're trying to change it around. And they're going to change it. My memory is going to go the way they want it. Like I said, falsifying memory is what they do. They've been doing that since day one. That was one of the first memory they were manipulating. And because it was one of the first one, and you don't know the capabilities of this technology early on. It takes some time. You realize slowly, it's like, am I like this? At first, you're like, oh, no, I felt like this before. You don't know. And so when they brought this memory, and with the stimulation, and which was rewired to feel sexual instead of like this, I don't know how to describe it. You know when you have something very overwhelmingly adorable, it's like, oh, like that, right? But they change it in a sexual way. I'll never experience this feeling without getting the stimulation. I understand there's no way for me to fight and have a battle in my brain to have a real memory of what happened. They try to create that false memory. Matter of fact, they try to create this new versions where like, no, the nanny came, she looked at, she was like, hey, did Sarah come? And she's like, oh, because she thought whatever that happened, this is what they try to create. The reality of what happened is I kissed her on the cheek. The rest is what they try to create, is try to manipulate, and they really try to put this thing in my mind in that way. Never happened that way. And then as I'm thinking about it right now, they're like hitting me up to create some fear of some sort. And they're going to capture the false experiences. And I remember when I didn't know about how they could manipulate the memories. And the guy's like, oh, you felt that again? Remember twice, huh? She was, I was like, oh, yeah, you felt like, it's like, yo, nah, no, I didn't feel like that. You're just rewiring my memories. And today I know that because they were doing the same thing to my friend's child. And when they do that, it's like, oh, castrate. Oh. You see how pathetic it is? I'm talking about memories of a 13-year-old that they have to manipulate. And the reason why they do that It's because they're trying to create a pattern. Can you imagine the pattern you create is somebody's childhood? The falsified pattern that you're creating is a pattern of somebody when he's a kid, even younger. And in my brain, they're creating this different narration because at some point, and it's true, at some point the nanny come and they are giving me this sexual stimulation as if like that's what I was experiencing. And the nanny's like, oh, she saw that, so she's like, no, it's because this kid was annoying me when I was trying to do this thing. And they try to do like, oh no, they come. So it's frustrating, but I gotta be strong. And matter of fact, as I feel myself, they like hitting me up to get me nervous, to make me feel like, you know, like the when you get nervous, how you can get hit up. That's what they try to do. So they're trying to create a fondling memory of Sarah. They're trying to give me a stimulation, a sexual stimulation of Sarah, because they're trying to create a pattern of what I did when I was a year older. To try to create a pattern, and because that didn't happen, what we're gonna do? We're gonna create a narrative. No, but you wanted to do something. So what? Kiss her more on the cheek. Do what? You understand? Like you wanted, I wanted to kiss more her cheeks, her chubby cheeks. This is the things they do. But what would have happened if this nanny wasn't there? Would I kiss her more on the cheeks? Like, what would they, like? You understand? They don't even like. What would have happened if this nanny wasn't? What story? And so you gotta understand these people. Their job, they're doing that for one purpose. There was an article that I read not too long ago. I didn't really read it, but I heard, and it was saying that children can do inappropriate things. Right? Most of the time, it's never going to happen again. This is an impulsive moment of children. Children are impulsive. They can do things impulsive. And so this impulsive act that I did was an impulsive act that never happened again. So what they have to do is to create or find ways to create some or try to create a narrative where there's more impulsive moments. So now, this is a moment that they can twist around in certain ways to create this pattern that's non-existent, but they're going backward. Do you understand? So it is a battle of them trying to create this false reality. And today, as a grown man, as they force you to get stimulations, they're like, no, we mapped it to you. For example, you, Sarah, remember Sarah? So every time I see Sarah, it's like they try to create this that for version. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And in my brain, they like bring, but the nanny saw. I was like, man, listen, the nanny did whatever the nanny did. I know that whatever happened, if the nanny wasn't there, I would have kissed her cheek again. It was all like that. In front of her dad, I did that. He was behind me and I looked at her and said, oh, on the cheek. He was like, now wait there. These are the most pathetic losers on earth. So, to all my target individual, the reason why I tell my story of what's happening to me is because I know there'll be a day when I will not be able to. Me saying what's happening to me, hopefully you, as a target individual, as you go through whatever you go through, you can be, it can help you understand, because it does help. When you are aware of the capability of what this technology can do, you are not identifying with this manipulation. If you know that they have the ability to rewire memories and manipulate memories and change your memories, it would have, if they know that if they have a specific tactic of breaking you down, you know that this is something that they do to break people down. You will not even have a second of identifying with these manipulations. And it's easy initially to kind of be confused, like, oh, you know what, I felt that. Like, yeah. Because you don't know that your memory is being manipulated, especially if they start manipulating your memory as a child, which they can rewire to feel like it's familiar, but it's not really the same thing because they changed it into something else. The reason why I started being conscious that they manipulate my memories, like I said, is because they did that to a friend, the daughter of my friend. And I was like, this is feeling fake. Now, it feels like I experienced it, but it's fake because I didn't experience that. So to all my target individual, do not identify with any false memory. Let me repeat that. Little Sarah tried to create a memory where one is I'm fondling her, two I'm forced to get stimulations. I'm getting stimulation, which then played in my memories. To all my target individuals, do not identify. For all these bottom feeders participating in this program, that will do everything possible to create a false reality, that will find ways to gauge a way to create this false reality, even to the point of going to somebody's childhood and going even backward, to make somebody identify to what's happening today when he's in his mid 30s or 30-year-old adult. Shows that these people's purpose is one, is to make you identify to this false persona. And they tell me how they want because my memories are going to be manipulated this way. So of course, if you can manipulate my memories when I'm not even, like when I'm an adult, imagine when I'm 13 years old. To all my target individuals, stay strong.